So Steve Richardson, I'm the director and founder of Silkware. We do practice management software for both barristers and solicitors. So just to give you a bit of background on me, I have been in the IT industry for about 25 years with a degree in information systems at the University of New South Wales. My background covers a variety of things in terms of real estate and internet service providers, etc. But about 14 years ago, I was sort of made aware of a need for practice management for barristers by my sister, who's a barrister. And the original product Silk was born as a consequence. We are now the largest supplier of barrister software in the country, with users in every state. About 5 years ago, we had a number of solicitors coming to us trying to use our barrister product for their solicitor practices, so we expanded into the solicitor market as a consequence. No great surprise given that barristers are sole traders. Our focus with the solicitor market is very much in the 1 to 5 type zone, and so we continue to expand and develop the solicitor product to meet the needs of those people. The interesting thing, I suppose, from our perspective is that I've heard a number of people testify today, obviously, about million document sort of lawsuits and all sorts of things. These things are largely, with no disrespect, sort of irrelevant to our sort of client base. They're not dealing with that type of thing. They're dealing with much more transactional type stuff, be it wills, conveyancing, and all those sorts of very much, dare I say, run-of-the-mill type legal processes. But despite that, most of our users are still seeking a lot of the efficiencies that many of the bigger firms enjoy. Now, they may not necessarily need big, complex document management systems, but they are very much focused on mobility, providing a quality of service to their users that is oftentimes only available in the larger firms. And in a sense, generally trying to present themselves as a much bigger, more sophisticated, capable company than possibly they are if you look behind the scenes. So we do what we can to try and meet that need, and we continue to grow and seem to do well as a consequence. So.
Could you just describe for us what the practice management software does, how it works?
Look, it deals with...
What are its features?
Look, it's mostly about, the best way I describe it is your back office admin, which sounds a bit boring, but it's matter management, contact management, invoicing, receipting, all those sorts of things. We're certified for trust accounting, settlement calculators. We're integrated with InfoTrack, for example, and which provides a lot of benefits. So people who are doing conveyancing related sort of things means they can execute searches from within the software, and that provides a huge benefit to them. Not only does it make it much quicker to execute the search because all the information that's already been captured in Silk is just automatically sent to InfoTrack rather than having to rekey it, which is not only obviously faster but obviously more accurate. But having executed a search, any of the results are automatically downloaded back into the system, passed through to the billing system, and immediately available to be invoiced out to the client. Now, not only does that provide speed and efficiency, but in some cases, I get clients claiming that they're probably as much as $2,000–3,000 a year better off because they're capturing cost recoveries that previously they would have missed. So it's these sorts of things that are creating efficiencies. They're making them more profitable. They need less support staff as a consequence. We're also doing an integration with the likes of Xero. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the accounting product online. Again, this allows their support accounting staff to be much more directly involved without actually having to go on site. So a lot of what is going on, and where a lot of the desire is about mobility and interoperability between different aspects of their business, even if those things don't physically exist in their office.
Is there an age profile for those who are taking up the software, or is it spread across the range?
Look, we have a pretty wide spread, but given that we focus on 1 to 5, we find that most I mean, we tend to focus on new firms. We do a special deal for those guys. So we actively sort of court what is probably a younger demographic, but we have a full range of ages. But we do find that the younger ages do embrace not only embrace technology but demand more from technology, than our much older users.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Questions, Michael?
I read that the software is able to be integrated with the court forms.
Yes.
And so I was just wondering how that works and what the purpose of it.
Oh, look, it's we provide a set of like the UCPR court forms, which we've had prepared. You download them into the system, it's part of your subscription. And so given that Silk captures quite a comprehensive amount of information about the matter in the first place, it's just a simple matter of highlighting a matter and say, I want to generate that court form. And it takes all of the data that you've already captured about that matter and populates it through. It sort of all stems from a really key premise is, capture data once and use it many times. And even up until relatively recently, there's still a lot of duplication of effort. Court forms are a good example. In the past, someone put something in their system, but then they're still having to hand type a court form. It's like, well, all that information is captured somewhere, so let's use it.
I was going to ask, there's firms have, similar needs around practice management, and so there's the generation of core features, if you like, in products like Silk and in other products that are out there, and to do things like document production and the things you're talking about. Without wanting to reveal any commercial information, what do you see as the next sort of features or core features that are being asked for, one by the profession or by the clients? Do you see a direction?
Look, the biggest push that we have from our clients is really about mobility and, as I touched on before, sort of interactions from sort of external parties. We get inquiries from firms that are wanting to, be more of the
to add value to it, it is what it is.
I'm not really seeing it that way so much. I mean, it's more that, our clients recognise that they've captured this data before. And look, the data that I'm talking about is not sort of complex metadata that is really, had a lot of, let's say, processing to it. In our case, it's much more, person's name, address, and these sorts of things. And they're like, well, I've already captured that. Let's reuse it. The distinction, I suppose, between Silk and some of what I've heard from the other speakers is that, we are dealing with a much smaller scale of things, and so the nature of what we're dealing with is not as complex, but nonetheless just as important to capture.
I think you mentioned that the software was improving efficiencies amongst law firms. We're talking about back office efficiencies, and then that translates into more time for lawyers, I take it. To deal with.
So if software works well, I mean, if I take the example of our barrister clients, or if you take my sister as a very good example. I mean, she had a secretary, but she no longer needs a secretary because she just uses the system to do all her accounts, and she's so quick and efficient for it. She doesn't need that extra resource. So, The whole point with these technologies is to really try and help facilitate, those efficiencies. Because I think there's a lot of very mundane processes that are repetitive in their nature that, if software's done well, it'll save you time. You don't have to have all this extra stuff to do it.